are observing your exhale and inhale. So be aware of it, nothing else. At this very moment, just only your breathing in, breathing out. Constantly observe it until your mindfulness is there. I know it's hard for the first time to have your mind controlled, but as long as we keep training, the mind will be well trained. In the teaching of Buddhism, it is expounded that when the mind is well trained, it brings happiness and peace, because happiness and peace is the state of mind. It comes from inside. It comes from our mind that is well trained. Happiness or sorrow comes from inside, not anywhere else. When the mind is happy, so we are happy. When the mind is not happy, we face suffering and sorrow. As you see, right now, the whole family is experiencing sadness, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, despair, because of the loss of your beloved person. We know it's hard to be separated from the one you love, and nobody wants to experience this either. Nevertheless, it is inevitable. It is inevitable. Why? It is the nature of our life, where there is arising, there is disappearing. Where there is coming, there is going. Where there is meeting, there is departing. Where there is birth, there is death. Where there is happiness, there is suffering. Where there is tall, there is short. Where there is black, there is white. Where there is bad, there is good. So everything comes in pair. It is inevitable. It's just reality of life that everybody has to face. The same goes to our life. When we are born, we are subject to decay, to die. This is reality. Why we have to know that it is reality? First of all, we have to be brave enough to accept reality at the first hand. Otherwise, we will live in a state of sorrow, and it will prolong. It will continue to exist when we're not able to let it go for what happened and for what is happening. That is why focusing on the present moment is very precious, it's very valuable, it's very helpful for you. When you stay mindful, it means you are in the present moment. It is where we are right now. We're not in the past, we're not in the future. We live in the present moment. And we know that the reality is such. We are facing sorrow right now. We're experiencing pain because of the loss of our beloved person. But we also know that this is inevitable, right? Everybody has to face it, this. It's just a matter of time, sooner or later, regardless of whatsoever nationality, age, culture, rich or poor, powerful or not, doesn't matter. the king of death will take all living beings. So that is why as long as we still live, we have to fulfill goodness as much as possible, because we don't know when it will be over. We don't know that when death will come to us. That's why there is a saying. They said, life is uncertain, but death is certain. Why? Life is uncertain because we don't know that what's gonna happen in our life. We cannot predict the future for what is going to happen to us. Today, yesterday, or last month, we might be laughing a lot, enjoying a lot. But today, we might be crying. Who knows? Today we are crying. Tomorrow we might be laughing. It's like a game of life, you know. Ups and downs are bound to come. The same way as birth and death. This is reality of life. We have to understand this at the very beginning, right? We have to understand this reality and be able to face it peacefully. We're not trying to lie to ourselves. Oh, this is not happening, this is not happening. My brother is not dying, okay? He's here with us, he's here with us. I know that a lot of people keep saying that whenever their family members are in serious condition between death and life, something like that. But the best method that the Buddha has taught us is that we have to see the nature of reality. When we see its true nature of reality of our life, we will still sad, but it will cease naturally. It will cease as time goes by. This is the nature of life. And this is not the first time that we have experienced such pain, right? This is not your first time, right, everybody? Not your first time. In the past, we all have lost our loved ones. Maybe your parents, your grandparents, are they still living? Your grandparents, your great-grandparents, are they still living? No? Yeah. Maybe the family members of your friends, of your communities, or anybody else. You have seen this. You have experienced the sadness, the grief, the pain before. This is not the first time that you experience pain and grief. But how was your mind between the period of that time until now? So we just do the comparison. How can we make our mind balanced? How can we keep the balance of the mind, especially in time when we lost someone we love? When we understand this matter of reality, we will be able to face it peacefully and accept it peacefully, because nothing can be changed. Nothing can be changed. So we have to accept this reality, understand this reality, and move on. Okay, we're not stuck. We're not stuck here. We have to move on. In the teaching of the Buddha, he always teaches us that when a person dies, creeping, crying cannot make any sense, because it cannot happen to the departed ones. I know it's hard to have ourselves from crying, not to cry, right? Not to cry, because we want to express our love and gratitude to him or to her. But adding on to that, we have to do something. We cannot just keep crying and do nothing else. We have to do something. So it is very appreciable that you all can come together as a family, as children. You come here to express your love to your departed relative by doing good. When you come together, you have a chance to do good for yourself, and with the goodness you have accumulated, you can share with him, you can share with your departed relatives, right? This is something good that you can do. If we're not doing something and keep crying, so it's useless. Okay, now it's good that you all can come. Since a few days ago until today, you have done a lot of good action, you have done a lot of meritorious deed by paying homage and veneration to the Buddha, to the Dharma, to the Sangha, and also the chance to listen to the chanting, to the monks' blessing, and the chance to observe, undertake the moral conduct through 5 precepts, the volition not to kill any living beings, not to steal, not to commit adultery or sexual misconduct, not to tell lies, and not to take any intoxicants. These are the basic principles for our life in order to gain happiness and peace. So this is a good thing that we have been doing. And also the chance to again listen to the Dhamma right now. You're able to listen the Dhamma and understand the teaching of the enlightened one, the Buddha. This is a great merit that you all are making right now. In the teaching of Buddhism, he explained there are 3 conditions. If a person is dead, what we can do to help him, or if you wish to donate or make an offering to the departed ones, there is no any other way besides doing charity or doing good for yourself. And by doing good, it means doing good with the virtuous people. And that is why in Buddhist traditions, and also for Cambodian people who practice Buddhism very dear and dear to them, whenever there is any funeral ceremony, they always invite the monks to come to their house, or they approach the temple. Why? Because they have a chance to make donation or do charity with the virtuous people. And there is different benefit when you do offering with the people who are not virtuous, who are not worthy of offering, which means they don't have good conduct, or they don't have virtue, high virtue. So the benefit that gain through your donation is also less. But when you make donation with those who are virtuous, with those who are worthy of offering, like the elderly people, like the monks and extra, so the merit, the benefit that you gain will be much and much greater. So the Buddha expounded 4 different types of people in which the merit makings will benefit differently based on the virtue of the receiver of your offering, right? If you offer to the Buddha when the Buddha was still living, a lot of people have approached to him, learn the Dhamma from him, and also be able to do charity with him, and they gain a lot of merit. But right now the Buddha is not here, but his teaching, his dispensation, his Dhamma is still here with us. That can be the instruction can be our teacher. That's why we have the monks to lead the teaching and to be able to hand out, to pass down the teaching to our generation, from one generation to another. This is a good thing that This is very fortunate thing that we still have, even though we're not born in the time of the Buddha, but we still born in the time when there is still his teaching, so that we are able to understand what is right, what is wrong, what is good and bad through his teaching. Personally, like for myself, without having learned the teaching of the Enlightened One, I would not be able to come and speak here in front of all of you. His teaching is very subtle, is very logical, and it's the fact of life. That's why I'm trying to explain all of you that when a person dies, we don't have any other way to benefit him. Crying doesn't help by just coming together, but if we don't do anything, that also cannot help to him, right? So in the teaching of the Buddha, there are 3 conditions that will be benefited to the departed one. So first thing, I already told that we have to do offering with the virtuous people. Like right now you're coming to the temple, you have the chance to do good, to make donation with the monks, with the elderly, grandma or grandpas. And then the second one, don't forget to dedicate merit, right? After you having done good deed, after having done all the merit, please don't forget to dedicate to your departed relatives. And how we're going to do so? So simply you can think in your mind, say in your mind, or you say out verbally by saying, by the power of my good action, meritorious deed that I have been accumulating, may my relative by the name of Sindra or anybody else, grandpa, Seung, or anybody else who passed away, might be your relative from different families, you can also dedicate to them, okay? By just calling their name directly, or you just say in short, like, all by the power of my good action, may all my departed relatives be happy, be liberated, may they be reborn in happy existence. This is the way in which you can do to help your departed one. But if you just know how to dedicate merit, if you don't do any good action or don't do any merit, you don't have anything to share to them, right? Just like when you want to give money to others and you don't have money, how can you going to give them? So first of all, we have to collect merit, right? How are we to collect merit? I already said so. Through making donation, through practicing good conduct, helping in the service, or maybe a voluntary service to any other community, helping cleaning, cooking. I know all of you are the good chef. Some people have been helping in the cooking, cleaning up, supporting in any other service at the funeral, preparing for the funeral. All these are great work that you all contribute to making merit for yourself. So after collecting merit for yourself, don't forget to share to your departed ones, okay? Either you say it verbally or you say in your mind, okay? Especially when you come in front of his picture, when you use the candle or the incense, when you burn the incense, don't forget to call his name, okay? Now come to get merit. I already done this good thing, like this, like that. May you be happy, may you be liberated, may you be reborn in a blissful existence, and so on. This is how you can dedicate merit to your departed relatives, how you can help him, right? So the third condition is all depends on the departed relatives. When the departed relatives hearing that you calling his name, you don't forget him, he will rejoice in the good deed that being dedicated to him. So under these 3 conditions, the merit that we have been doing will benefit to him. This is the teaching from the Enlightened One, the Buddha. That's why we have this religious ritual. Whenever a person dies, we always come together and try to do merit by offering lunch to the monks, offering budget to support the temple, or anything that is kind of charity, or maybe observing the precept, by trying to do good, to avoid bad, and to purify our mind. This all the merit making activities that we can accumulate for ourselves. With that, it brings happiness for our family as well, for the living people, and also benefit for the departed one. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm not gonna spend more time. It's already late at night, but I hope that through this short explanation, it will help you at least a little bit how you understand about the whole funeral service that we are trying to do. You know, why we have the monks in presence, why we come to the temple, and why we make offering to them, and why we pay respect to the monk or pay respect to the Buddha. This is all the way of making merit. Okay? If some people may ask, how are we to do good? What kind of activity that can be called as merit making activity? So coming together, pay respect to those who are worthy of respect, doing charity, offer something to those who are worthy of offering, and have the chance to develop, to cultivate your mind, just like I just led for all of you to meditate. These are merit, right? These are good action that you've been doing. So please continue to do that anywhere, anytime, whenever you have time. You can spend a few minutes meditating, you know, before bed, after getting up, spend some minutes to, you know, just dive deep inside yourself. Most of the time we spend looking the world outside, but we never look inside ourselves. That's why sometimes we cannot control ourselves, control our mind. When we face suffering, we lose the balance of the mind. When we face happiness, we feel overjoyed. At the same time, we also lose the balance of the mind. So the mind is not balanced. And you know that something, whatever that is, that has no balance, it's gonna, you know, something is wrong there, and it will cause you suffering. So we need to keep balance on the daily basis. Regardless of whatever you do, you must try to keep yourself balanced. And when you're working, if you overwork, you give yourself a hard time. You have to balance between work, family life, money, you know, time for your family, time for yourself, time for your work, your job. So we have to give balance to everything. In the same way, when it comes to mental training, mental development, we have to keep it balanced. So we learn how to face reality, no matter how what we face, even it is a pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling, pleasant object or unpleasant object that we might be seeing, we might be hearing, we might be tasting, we might be touching, we might be thinking. Through 6 sense doors, we must be able to balance it. But how are we to balance it? Trying to understand the nature of reality. The moment when you experience something, the moment when you sense something through your eyes, ear, door, but through your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, try to balance it, okay? This is the 6 doors that brings in and brings out all information, all data. It has been stored through our eye. When we see things, we bring information in through eyes. We analyze things as bad or good. So we bring suffering or happiness through the way we analyze things, right? Through the way we view it. Through your eye, you see object, sight, form, visible object. Through your ear, you hear sound. Through your tongue, you taste. Through your body, you feel the touch or tangible object. Through your mind, you think. So these all are the sense media. You bring in and out all the information on your daily basis. If you know how to control your sense, if you know how to guard your 6 senses, then you will be happy every day of your life. But most of people, they don't understand how to do it. Okay, they don't understand how to control their senses. If they face something sorrowful, they just feel unhappy, they feel sad. Right now we're facing this, right? But you can change when you see things, you know, I mean the reality is the same, nothing changed, right? Nothing changed, but you can change your view, how you view the things. Just like when you have your relative died. This is reality, we cannot change anything. We cannot make him alive again. It doesn't happen, right? No way. But what we can do is trying to do more good for him. And also, when we understand that this is reality, that we cannot do anything to make this change, at least we can stay still and make ourselves calm and be strong enough, to continue with this merit making activity successfully for him. Some people, they just keep crying and they feel weak, they're getting weak. Eventually they cannot do anything because they lost someone they love, just like your mom, your grandma. I think she sometimes getting weak. So sometimes it may be hurting yourself when you dwell too much on that very idea. You get stuck in the idea of pain, of sorrow, of loss. But if you just change the way you view things, like, okay, this thing already happened, I must move on. If I'm weak, if I'm get sick, so my family member also will be in trouble again, right? They will double their worry because of you, okay? So you must be strong as a family member, be united, come together and try to help each other whatever you can. This is something that you can do to not just for the living relative but also for your departed relative, just to honor them in that way. This is also a good thing you can do, okay, everybody? So finally, by the power of your good volition in listening to the Dhamma, in coming together, practicing good conduct, listening to the chanting, observing the precept and mental, practicing meditation and mental development, may all this merit be accrued, be achieved to Mr. Sandra, who just passed away a few days ago. If he knows, may he rejoice this merit after having rejoiced it. May he be liberated from suffering. May he be reborn in the blissful existence. And by the power of your good deed, may you all be happy, be blessed with peace and happiness, have long life and also be free from all kinds of disease and illness, be healthy, wealthy and prosper. សូមឲ្យពុទ្ធបរិស័ទទាំងអស់ដែលបានបំពេញនៅអំពើល្អតាមរយៈទានសិលភាវនាស្ដាប់ប្រសង្ឃចម្រើនព្រះបរិត្តក្តីស្ដាប់ធម្មទេសនាក្តីតាមរយៈការធ្វើទានប្រគេនចង្ហាន់ប្រសង្ឃក្តីសូមបុណ្យកុសលទាំងអស់នេះបានសម្រេចដល់លោកសិនរាដែលបានចែកឋានទៅអស់រយៈពេល4ថ្ងៃ5ថ្ងៃមកហើយសូមឲ្យលោកបានទទួលត្រេកអរអនុមោទនាបើលោកបានទទួលហើយក៏សូមឲ្យបានសេចក្តីសុខរួចចាកទុកទាំងពួងទៅបដិសន្ធិនៅក្នុងទីដ៏សមគួរមានឋានសួគ៌ទេវលោកព្រហ្មលោកនិងមនុស្សលោកជាដើមនិងម្យ៉ាងមួយទៀតបុណ្យកុសលថ្ងៃនេះក៏សូមឲ្យបានសម្រេចដល់កូនចៅក្រុមគ្រួសារសាច់សាលហិតញាតិមិត្តទាំងអស់ដែលអញ្ជើញមកជុំគ្នាជាគ្រួសារជាធ្លុងតែមួយនេះក៏សូមឲ្យបានសេចក្តីសុខសេចក្តីចម្រើនជួបប្រទះតែពុទ្ធពរទាំងឡាយ4ប្រការអាយុក៏សូមមានអាយុវែងសុខៈមានសេចក្តីសុខកាយសប្បាយចិត្តវណ្ណៈមានសម្បុរកាយភ្លឺថ្លាល្អបដិភានអ្នកបញ្ញាក៏សូមឲ្យមានបញ្ញាហើយសុខអាយុវណ្ណៈសុខៈពលៈពលៈគឺសូមឲ្យមានកម្លាំងកាយកម្លាំងចិត្តនិងកម្លាំងសទ្ធាជ្រះថ្លានិងម្យ៉ាងវិញទៀតបដិភានអ្នកបញ្ញាគឺពររបស់សម្ដេចជួនណាតក៏សូមឲ្យបាននៅបញ្ញាបដិភានវៀងវៃគ្រប់ការងារភារកិច្ចទាំងអស់ក៏សូមឲ្យបានសម្រេចដោយបំណងពងប្រាថ្នាជាពិសេសនឹងក៏សូមមានសុខភាពល្អប្រាសចាកជំងឺរោគាពាធនានាសូមឲ្យបរិវាសជៀសចេញឆ្ងាយចាប់តាំងអំពីពេលនឹងតទៅសូមឲ្យបានជួបនឹងព្រះច្បាស់នឹងធម៌មានបញ្ញាល្អជាសមាធិយល់ឃើញត្រូវគ្រប់ជាតិរហូតដល់បានសម្រេចមគ្គនឹងផលតាមសំគួរដល់សេចក្តីប្រាថ្នាសូមអនុមោទនា